Ever imagine yourself standing at the front of a lecture hall, inspiring a whole new generation of astronomers and astronauts with all the wonders of
Oh,
space?
absolutely. The passion is infectious.
Well, today we're taking a deep dive into what it really means to be a space science lecturer. And let me tell you, it goes way beyond textbooks and telescopes.
We're going way beyond the typical job description today, actually.
Okay, so tell me more.
We're pulling from some really, really interesting stuff we found on RoleCatcher.
Okay, so RoleCatcher, that career platform, it's got some great resources.
Yeah, really fascinating insights there.
Okay, so let's unpack this. What's the real story? What's it actually like to be a space science lecturer?
So picture this, right? You're mentoring a student, and they're building their own, like, low-cost satellite to
Wow.
measure actual cosmic radiation,
Okay.
real deal data
Wow.
that could actually contribute to the field.
That's incredible.
Or imagine being in a room, right, just buzzing with aha moments,
Yeah.
as your students finally grasp, like a really complex astrophysics concept for the first time.
Oh, I love that.
That's the kind of magic you get to experience.
Wow. Guiding students to actually build their own satellites, that's what I call hands-on learning. It sounds like so much more than just teaching. You're igniting a passion for space.
100%.
It's about, pushing the boundaries of exploration.
Think of it as this blend of teaching, research, like even cosmic detective work in a way,
Oh, I like that.
because you're uncovering the universe's mysteries right alongside your students.
And these aren't just any students, are they? These are students who have finished secondary school.
They've got their upper secondary education diplomas.
So they're ready to really dive deep.
Yeah, you're really diving into the deep end of space exploration together.
I am hooked already. Okay, so for anyone listening who's thinking, this sounds amazing, what about the career itself? I mean, is there actually, so to speak, space for growth in this field?
Well, the industry right now is definitely moving towards more specialization,
Okay.
more kind of like niche research within the field itself.
Right, because it's becoming more and more relevant, isn't it?
And as space exploration expands, and it is, think private companies, missions to Mars, the whole shebang, the demand for people who really know their stuff.
Yeah.
In space science, it's only going to go up.
So you're saying there's a future in this. It's a secure career path for someone who's passionate about space.
Definitely.
That's reassuring to hear. Okay, so before we launch into exactly how to land this dream job.
Let's pump the brakes for a second.
Okay, sure.
Let's talk about the training, the skills you need to really make a real impact as a space science lecturer.
Yeah.
Because it's not just about, memorizing the constellations.
No, of course, so much more to it.
Right. There's more to it than meets the eye. It's really cool how much this field has evolved. I mean, it's not just about stargazing anymore, right?
Right.
To be a space science lecturer today, you need a really diverse set of skills. It's pretty surprising, actually.
Okay, so for someone listening who's thinking, I love space, how do I turn that into an actual job? What's the path? What does it look like?
Well, think of it kind of like an odyssey.
Okay.
RoleCatcher's data actually highlights that there are a bunch of different academic paths you can take. And it's not just about, being amazing at astronomy. We're talking like astrophysics,
Well, of course. Yes.
plasmology,
Makes sense.
and get this, even computer science.
Computer science. Now that's interesting. It's not the first thing that comes to mind when I think about space. How does that fit in?
Well, I mean, think about it this way. Space exploration these days, it's really all about technology too, right?
Yeah.
So imagine, you're coding simulations of like black hole collisions,
Wow.
or you're analyzing all that data from the James Webb Telescope. I mean, these are the tools that are really like
Yeah.
shaping how we understand the universe now.
Yeah, that makes total sense. So it's like, in order to be a great architect, you need to understand not just design, but also like engineering and the materials, right? It's about connecting all the dots.
Exactly.
So we've got, the solid foundation in science, even computer science.
Yeah.
But what about those, let's call them soft skills, right? The stuff you can't just learn from a textbook. What makes a truly great space science lecturer stand out? What are those extra things?
Okay, so that's where it gets really cool. RoleCatcher really emphasizes that it's about having this, like, skills constellation,
I like that.
this blend of talents, and some of them might surprise you.
Okay.
So yeah, you need that deep scientific knowledge. We've already said that. But being a great communicator, that's like equally important.
Oh, for sure.
Because remember, you're not just talking to equations all day.
Oh, what? It's about people.
You're trying to inspire students. You want them to get excited, to look up at the night sky and feel that sense of wonder.
So it's like being part scientist, part storyteller almost. You're weaving these complex concepts together, but also communicating the awe and wonder of it all.
Exactly. And we can't forget about critical thinking either. A great space science lecturer, they don't just give the answers. They help their students learn to analyze information, to challenge assumptions, even question what we think we already know about the
Right,
universe.
because that's how discoveries are made.
That's how it's done, yeah.
It's about fostering that curiosity, that
Absolutely.
thirst for knowledge
Yep.
in the next generation of space explorers. Okay, but let's face it, even the most passionate, the biggest space enthusiast, the interview process can be a little daunting, right?
Oh, yeah.
So, is there anything out there that can help calm those pre-interview jitters? Any advice from RoleCatcher?
Actually, yeah, there is.
Okay, good.
They've analyzed a ton of real interview questions
Oh, wow.
for space science lecturer positions. So you can kind of get a feel for, like, what are they really looking for? What matters to these hiring committees?
Okay, so what kind of questions should someone be prepared for?
Well, be ready to talk about, like, your biggest inspirations in the field.
Okay.
Was there a specific scientist, a groundbreaking discovery, or even just like a personal experience, something that really sparked your passion for space? Be ready to talk about that.
So we've talked about the passion, the skills, even those, sometimes scary interviews.
Right.
But let's say you get that dream job, you're officially a space science lecturer.
Yeah.
What's next? What does that career path actually look like?
That's when the real journey begins.
I like that.
It's like you're embarking on your own research expedition, right?
Yeah.
And RoleCatcher's data, it actually maps out some potential career stages you might go through.
Okay.
So you might start off assisting senior lecturers,
Okay.
kind of like being a co-pilot.
Okay.
You're soaking up all that knowledge,
Yeah.
gaining experience.
Learning the ropes. Yeah, starting as co-pilot, learning from the best. But let's be real, anyone who's drawn to space, they probably have big ambitions, right?
Oh, for sure.
So how do you go from co-pilot to, like, commanding your own research station?
It's all about racking up those space miles.
Well, I like that.
One of the biggest takeaways from RoleCatcher is continuous learning.
Okay.
You got to keep exploring new research, going to those conferences, maybe even going for another degree.
Yeah.
That's how you become the expert.
So just like how astronauts are constantly training, upgrading their skills between missions,
Exactly.
it's the same for someone who wants to really make a mark in space science education.
Yep.
Okay, so here's a question I bet a lot of people are wondering. Do you have to stay in academia?
That's a good question.
What if you want to, like, explore different career planets?
Well, that's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
Having that background as a space science lecturer, it opens so many doors. I mean, think about it. Research positions in these cutting-edge labs, consulting for space tech companies, even science communication.
Right, because you have to be a good communicator to be a good teacher.
Exactly.
You could be writing for, a space magazine, working on the next Mars rover mission,
Why
even consulting on a sci-fi film set.
not? Anything's possible.
That's incredible. And that's where, a platform like RoleCatcher, it becomes really valuable.
Absolutely.
It's not just for finding that first job.
Right.
It helps you throughout your entire career.
Yeah, you can use it to, like, see what the new fields are, connect with potential employers, even get feedback on your CV.
That's amazing.
That's really helpful.
You mentioned AI and how RoleCatcher uses AI. For those of us who aren't, programmers ourselves,
Right.
how does AI actually play into a space science career?
So imagine having this AI assistant, right?
Okay.
And it helps you tailor your CV to each specific job you apply for.
Oh, wow.
It analyzes your interview answers, makes sure they're clear and impactful,
Right.
and even connects you with opportunities that are, like, perfect for your skills, your goals.
It does all the work for you.
Well, not all the work,
Okay.
but it really streamlines the process.
So you can focus on the space stuff.
Exactly. So you can focus on what really matters.
Yeah.
All those mysteries out there in the universe.
Well, that about wraps up our deep dive into the world of a space science lecturer.
It was a fun one.
It really was. And for our listeners, the field of space science, it's huge. It's always changing. There are always new things to discover. What will you be inspired to uncover? Who knows? Maybe this was just the launch pad for your own incredible journey.